Good day, everyone. My name is Ian Christopher Envalles. I will be presenting one of the key concepts of automata theory, the closure properties of context-free languages. Before we begin, let's quickly recall what is a context-free language or CFL. A context-free language is a type of formal language that can be generated by a context-free grammar and recognized by a push-down automation. These are very important in computer science because they describe the structure of programming languages, like expressions, loops, and nested parentheses. And now let's move on to what closure means. If a set of language is closed under a certain operations, it means that when we perform that operation on one or more languages in the set, the result still belongs to the same set. For example, if if we apply a certain operations to two context-free language and the result is still a context-free language, we say that CFL are closed under that operations. Okay, so now let's go through the operations under which CFL are closed. We have the union, concatenation, clean star or repetition, reversal, and substitutions. So let's have a brief discussion in each operations. So first we have the union. So CFL are closed under union. If L1 and L2 are context-free, then the union of L1 and L2 is also context-free. We can simply add a new start symbol that can generate either of the two grammars. And for the concatenation, CFL are closed under concatenations. That means if you combine two CFL string from L1 followed by L2, from L2, the result is still context free. And then for clean star or repetition, CFL are closed under the clean star operations. This means we can repeat the string of context free language any numbers of times, including zero, and the result is still be a CFL. And then for the reversal, CFL are closed under reversal. If L is a context-free language, then the set of all reverse string of L, written as L1, is also a context-free. This is possible if every context-free grammar we can construct another grammar that generates the reverse of each string by reversing the order of production rules. For example, if ABC is in L, then CBA will be in L, and the new grammar can handle that reversal. And then for the substitution, TFL are closed under substitution as long as the substituted part are themselves context-free languages. In substitution, each symbol in the original language is replaced with a language. For example, if you have a variable A that can be replaced with a string from a context-free language, L1, or and a variable B replace the string from L2, then the result is still context-free. This operation allows flexibility in grammar constructions and is useful in designing modular syntax rules. Okay, now let's discuss what is union. If we have two context-free languages, L1 and L2, their union is written as L is equal to L union of L2. So if L1 and L2 are context-free language, their union is defined as L is equal to L1 and L1 union L2 is equal to W or W elements of L1 or W elements of L2. Under closure properties, CFLs are closed under union. This means that if both L1 and L2 are context-free, then L1 union L2 is also a context-free language. Here is the conceptual proof. Let G be the grammar that generates L1 and G2 be the grammar that generates L2. We can create a new grammar G with a new start symbol S and add one new rule. S is to S sub 1 or S sub 2. This rules allows the new grammar to start with, with either the start symbol of G1 or G2. As a result, it can generate all strings that come from either L1 or L2. So therefore, the union of two context-free language is also a context-free language. That's why we say CFL are closed under union. Concatenation operations under closure properties of context-free languages. If we have two context-free language L1 and L2, their concatenation is written as L is equal to L sub 1, L sub 2 is equal to X and Y, or X element of L1 and Y elements of L2. So this means that a string of X from L1 followed by a string Y from L2 will form a new string in L. In simpler terms, we just join or attach one string from the first language to another string from the second language. Now, a context-free language are closed under concatenation. This means that if both L1 and L2 are context-free, then their concatenation L1, L2 is also context-free. Here is the conceptual proof. Let G1 be the grammar that generates L1 and G2 be the grammar that generates L2. We can create a new grammar G with a new smart symbol S and add a new rule. We have is to S sub 1 and S sub 2. This means the new grammar first generate a string from L1 through S1 and then string from L2 through S2. As a result, it produces all strings that belongs to the concatenation L sub 1 and L sub 2. Therefore, we can say that context-free language are closed under concatenation. Clean star operation is also known as repetition under the closure properties of a context-free language. If L is a context-free language, then it's a clean star, written as L star. If is defined as the set of all possible strings formed by concatenating zero or more string from L. In other words, L star includes every possible repetition of strings from L, including the empty string. Now, the closure property tells us that context-free language are closed under the clean star. This means that if L is a context-free, then L star is also a context-free. Here is the conceptual proof. Let's say we have grammar G that generates the language L. When we build a new grammar G with a new start symbol S and we add two new rules, S is to S or elements. The first rule allows the grammar to repeat string from L, and the second rules S to elements allow for the empty string since repeating zero times is also part of L star. With the constructions, the new grammar can generate any numbers of repetitions of string from L, including none at all. Therefore, context-free language are closed under the clean star operations or repetition. Substitution is an operation that replaces each symbol in the string of a language with another language. So formally, let's say we have a language L or over an alphabet sigma, and for each symbol A in sigma, we define a substitution functions is equal to L, where LA is another language that replaces the symbol A. When we apply the substitutions to the entire language L, we get FL is equal to FW or or W element of L, which means we take every string W in L and replaces each of the symbol according to the defined solutions. For example, if W is equal to A sub 1, A sub 2 until A sub n, then FW will contain all possible string formed by concatenating one string from each LA sub 1, LA sub 2, and until LA sub n. Now, the closure property states that context-free language are closed under substitutions, but with one condition. If L is a context-free language and each substituted language L sub A is also context-free, then the resulting language is guaranteed to be a context-free as well. Here is the conceptual proof. Let's say G is a grammar that generates L. For every terminal symbol A in the grammar, we replace it with the start variable of grammar that generates A. This process allows the new grammar to produce all possible substitutions of the original string. As a result, the new grammar generates L, which means L is also a co- context-free language. So therefore, we can conclude that TFL are closed under substitutions as long as each language used for substitution itself is context-free.